Hello guys, we are in continuation of the series of lectures and we have started with the life processes. So this is the second video for the chapter life processes and it comes in the syllabus of 10th standard, 10th biology, CBSC it is. Now I'll share the link in the description of this video, the link of the previous video I am telling here, and let us start for the discussion of this video. We will start with the autotrophic mode of nutrition. We know that autotrophs are the organisms who are able to make their own food, and they are the organisms who are self-nourishing. So, green plants, they are considered as the autotrophs, the self-nourishing organisms, and it is because of the pigment that is called as chlorophyll. They are able to make their own food. This pigment, it is present in a cellular organelle that is called as chloroplast. Where it is present? It is present in the green parts of the plants. And basically, we will write for the part that is leaves. So, as we are discussing for the autotrophic mode of nutrition in the plants, we have to discuss for the process that is called as photosynthesis. Photosynthesis, it is said to be photosynthesis because here the food, the glucose, it is formed in the presence of sunlight. Photosynthesis. Synthesis means the manufacturing. So manufacturing of the food, it occurs in the presence of sunlight, and that is what the photosynthesis is. Here the light energy, it gets converted into the chemical energy. So this process, which is called as photosynthesis, it occurs in the chloroplast of the cells, because we know that chloroplast is a cellular organelle. So here the photosynthesis, which is the process responsible for the production of food, the manufacturing of the food, it occurs in the chloroplasts of the cells, and these cells, they are present where? The photosynthesizing cells, they are present in the leaves. We will discuss where in the cells they are present in the leaves. How the arrangement of them in the TS of leaf we will see in the next slide of ours. So let us continue for the photosynthesis here. Photosynthesis equation is 6CO2 plus 6H2O, that is C6H12O6 plus 6O2. We know that oxygen, it is a byproduct of the photosynthesis. This glucose, it is formed here, it is synthesized here, and this is stored in the form of starch. We know that the food, it is stored in the form of starch in plants. O2, it is evolved through the stomata, and that we use in the respiration of ours. Definitely the plants also use O2 in the respiration of them. So 6CO2 plus 6H2O, C6H12O6 plus 6O2. This is the equation. And here the raw materials which are needed for the photosynthesis, that is CO2 and water. So over the arrow we can write for the chlorophyll because here the pigment is necessary. And over the arrow we can write for the sunlight as well. Chlorophyll is present in the chloroplast of the cells in the leaves that we know. So this is the equation which we have to learn for the photosynthesis, and in this photo you can see the green parts like leaves, they are able to photosynthesize with the presence of sunlight, and here the CO2 is also needed. Water is also needed as the raw material. When you get the question for the raw materials of the photosynthesis, you will write for the CO2 and water. These are the raw materials of the photosynthesis. And the regions from where the raw materials they entered to the plants, the regions are the water, it is present in the soil, in between the soil particles, and it is absorbed by the roots of the plants. And after that, through the xylem, it is uplifted. CO2, it is present in the atmosphere and it is entered through the stomata. I will show you the structure of the stomata also in the upcoming slides. So here the photosynthesis, it is a process, and that is how the glucose it is formed, which is stored in the form of starch. Oxygen is evolved in this process, and this is a byproduct in the photosynthesis. Now, this is the structure of the chloroplast. Chloroplast, it is present in the leaf cells. Just see here, you will be able to see the dotted structures here in the cells, right? So these elongated cells and these somewhat cylindrical cells, they are the mesophyll cells. They are called as mesophyll cells, and the mesophyll cells, they are said to be the photosynthesizing cells where the chloroplast it is present. These dotted lines, these dotted structures over the periphery of the cells, they are called as chloroplast, and this is what the structure of a chloroplast. It is what? It is a cellular organelle which is present inside the cell like this. So this is the chloroplast. When we will discuss for the photosynthesis, we have to discuss for the structure of the chloroplast as well, because that is the point, that is the region where the photosynthesis occurs. Uh, Let us see the structure. This is the outer membrane as labeled here. Let me highlight it. This is the outer membrane. This is the inner membrane, right? These coin-like structure, they are called as thylakoid. Thylakoid stacked one upon another to form the granum. Granum is the stacks of thylakoid that you can get as the optional question as well. And inside a space, it is called as lumen, right? So the regions which we have to label here, that is the thylakoid, the coin-shaped structure. The coin-shaped structure which are called as thylakoid, they are stacked one upon another to form the granum. This ground substance, it is called as a stroma. This one, right? This is what? This is the stroma. And the space in between the membranes, that is intermembrane space which is present in between, and these lamellae, they are the joining structures of different granum. So these are the regions which we have to see in the structure of the chloroplast. Actually, the chloroplast, it occurs in two phases. In the chloroplast, the photosynthesis occurs in two phases. One is the light phase, and second is the dark phase. We are talking about the photosynthesis which occurs in the chloroplast. The photosynthesis, it occurs in two phases, light phase and dark phase. Light phase, it occurs in the thylakoid. It occurs in the thylakoid. And this dark phase, it occurs in the stroma region. Right? So these points we have to know. And second point which I would like to clear here, that the photosynthesis, it is completed in three steps, which we can give as the summarizing points of the photosynthesis. The three steps are: first is the trapping of the sunlight, through chlorophyll. Second is the light energy gets converted into chemical energy. And the third point is the second part of this point is photolysis of water occurs. This point we can include in the second point only. The photolysis of water occurs. What is photolysis? Splitting of water. Splitting of water occurs, which is called as photolysis, and here the H2O, it is splitted into hydrogen, electrons and the oxygen. This is the second point of the summary. And third is the reduction of CO2 through hydrogen to form C6H12O6. So these are the points. This is the first point. The second one we can label from here. And this is the third point. I can show you through the different colors so that you can have a better look here. And these points, you not only you have to understand well, but also you have to remember. These are the points through which we can summarize the photosynthesis. Once again, photosynthesis, it occurs in the chloroplast region of the cells, and the photosynthesis, it is completed in the two phases. One is the light phase, second is the dark phase. Light phase occurs in the granum, the thylakoid region, and thylakoid stacked one upon another to form the granum. And dark phase, it occurs in the stroma region of the chloroplast. So these are the points which you have to take care. And let's come to the structure of the leaf now. I just want to show you the tissue, mesophyll tissue, where the photosynthesis occurs. So in the TS of leaf, the transverse section of leaf, you can see these many points. Let us highlight here. Cuticle, upper epidermis, palisade parenchyma, xylem, phloem, spongy parenchyma, air spaces, guard cells, lower epidermis, and stomata. In these labeling, the point of interest is the palisade parenchyma. Here the palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma. This is what? This is a spongy parenchyma. This is palisade parenchyma. Here the dotted structures, they are the chloroplast, and actually they constitute to form the mesophyll. Mesophyll cells, they are the photosynthetic cells where the photosynthesis occurs, and it is because of the presence of the chloroplast. We can see over the periphery the chloroplast, the dotted structures. This is the upper epidermis, right? And this is the lower epidermis, and here you can see the stomatas. We have to consider the structure of the stomata here. We have to discuss for the stomata here because it is the region through which the CO2 entered. It is the structure through which the CO2 entered, right? And also the oxygen is evolved because oxygen is a byproduct here in the photosynthesis. So it is evolved through the stomata. CO2 is a raw material. It is entered through the stomata. So the stomatas, they are the structures which are present on the lower surface of the leaf, and they are shown like this. These cells, they are called as the guard cells. This is the structure of a stomata. These are guard cells, and it is the guard cells which maintains the opening and the closing of the pore here. This pore is called as stoma. So guard cells, these bean-shaped structures, they are the guard cells and they maintain the opening and closing of the stomata. So these many points we have to discuss today, and I have planned to cover up these many points which I think I have covered up. What is autotrophic nutrition? That is the nutrition in which the plants they are able to photosynthesize, they are able to make their own food. We have discussed for the process of photosynthesis in detail, along with the equation and raw materials. Raw materials, they are equally important as the question. The structure of chloroplast I have let you know. For the TS of leaf I have shown, right? The TS of leaf, basically it is for the showing for the mesophyll cell, the photosynthetic tissue where the photosynthesis occurs. We have seen the structure of the stomata. Stomata, they are significant here in the discussion because uh, they are there for the entering of the CO2. They are there for the evolution of the O2. O2 evolve through the stomata. And the raw materials for the photosynthesis, again, it is, we have to write here, that is CO2 and water. You have to remember the point that the water, it is entered through the roots. Actually, the roots, they are having the root hairs through which the water it gets absorbed, and water it is present in between the soil particles, right? So these are the points which we have planned to cover, and we have covered up. Any queries of yours you can write down in the comment section of the video, and we will continue for the heterotrophic mode of nutrition, and also the experiments are there for the photosynthesis. We will discuss for the photosynthetic experiments which are there in your syllabus, and if we get the time then we will continue further after that. So keep watching the videos and we will discuss further in the next upcoming video of ours. Bye, take care.